Hello there, welcome to this learning tutorial. This learning tutorial has been created to support the students who are trying to set up a website in Dreamweaver CS4. Now, let me just assume that you've managed to follow the previous step-by-step tutorials that help you to set up your home page as shown on my screen. That is, you've managed to set up a home page that contains hyperlink buttons. Those buttons were created by you. The buttons have been inserted on your page. You've managed also to set up the app div structure. You've managed to set up all the sections that will contain the information. Now, because I've assumed that you've followed the previous step by step, I'm not really going to mention anything to do with what I have on my screen because I assume you've managed to do that. So things like app div, if that really sounds very unfamiliar to you, please, I advise you to go back to the previous section and do this perfectly, otherwise you'll find this tutorial difficult. Now, without wasting any time, as you can see, I've got my hyperlink buttons here, but they are not doing anything. So what I want to show you is how do I create hyperlink buttons that allow you to link up with extra pages that you will have in your website. For example, if I actually show you how this page looks in Explorer, look, the buttons do nothing. They are really not linked to any page. So what I'm now going to do here is to show you how I do this in Dreamweaver, and this is very simple. And if really you don't get it, please, I want you to listen again. So this is a very simple technique I have actually developed for myself to create hyperlink buttons in a very short period of time. So the first thing I do, I need to insert all the blank pages. So as you can see, I need page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. So I'm now going to show you how do I create a new page, and I will click on File, New, and I'll get this. Make sure it's on blank page, and I want the HTML format page. So I will click on Create, and now here's a blank page. I want to save this page, so File, Save As. So I want to save this as page 1. Of course, save these pages based on what you've got. So if you've got a page called music, call music. If you've got a page called designing techniques, you call designing techniques. Mine, I'm calling it page 1 because that's what I need. So I'll do the same thing. File, New. I'm going to create blank page, HTML format, and I'll say Create. So this page is going to be saved as File, Save As, and I'm calling it page 2. And I'll create a third one, File, New. It's the same method. So really, this is why I think this method of mine is really helping me to do some of these things so quickly. So I want to save it as page 3. They are all blank pages. File, New, and I want a blank page in HTML format. Create. So File, Save As. Now as I'm saving this, please, I want you to make sure that all these pages are saved in the website folder that will contain this project. So as you can see, I have got all my blank pages, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Now I want you to learn how we create these hyperlinks. So I will start off with my home page. So this home page button, I want to make sure I click on it. So once I've clicked on it, there are so many ways how to create hyperlinks. This is my approach. So right click on this button, make link. Now go and find the folder that contains your website, and it's here, and I want to link this to my home page. So I have many pages here, but I want to find the page that I want. So I'll click that and it's done. So I will go to page 1. I want page 1 button to link to page 1 page. So right click on the button, make link. I will find page 1. Where's page 1? Click on it, click OK. I need this button to link on page 2. So right click, make link, and then look for your page. Now there's something really you need to know. Please, as you are doing this, make sure you are not selecting the app div drawing box, because really that's a big mistake. Make sure you're touching the button. So right click on the button, make link, link to the page that you need. I want to link this to page 3. Click OK. Click on the button 4. I want this button to link to a page called page 4. So I will go and find page 4. Click OK. Now the next step is very important. You now need to save your work. File, save. I prefer to say save all in case there's anything I miss out. So save all. So how do you preview what you've just done? So I will go to File, Preview, and now my Explorer is coming up. Now have a look. When I pass, do you see now there is a cursor passing by? So they are now active. Of course, if I click on page 1, they're all going to be blank pages. So I will try to see page 1. Now they're blank pages. Of course it's working, but you can't know. So this is where I will now explain again. So now, of course, I don't need that anymore. Now what I want you to do is this. Once you've linked these pages, I want now to use this structure I have got and save it over every other page, so that at least I really save myself from having to create all the formatting for every single page. So the reason I'm doing this, to save me the hours of setting up all my blank pages, give them colors, give them up div boxes. That is too much. So this structure I have got, I'm now going to save it as page 1. I'll then save it as page 2. I'll then save it as page 3. I'll then save it as page 4. So this is what I now need to do. This is my home page. I want to say File, Save As. I want now to override page 1. Save it. Yes. I want this now to be replaced as page 1. Yeah. Now you will see in a few minutes what's happening, and I will say save. I will now do the same thing. I will say File, Save As, page 2. This is now overriding the previous blank page, and I want to remove that heading, and I create another page called page 2. Save. Yep. I now need to do the same thing. File, Save As, click on the other page, which is page 3. All these blank pages now are receiving this information that I've already got. If it says, do you want to override the other blank page? Yes, I want it to override the blank page. So now that's called page 3. Do not forget to change the titles because it will confuse you. Save. So File, Save As. Now this is going to be saved as page 4. Save. Page 4. Of course, if your page is called maybe designing style, save it as designing style. So save all. Now what we've done, that we've managed to use the template we've got, which had all the hyperlinks done, to override the blank pages. So now if we go and open all the other pages, so if I say File, Open, page 1, have a look, page 1 is there. So if I go File, Open, page 2, page 2 is there. So really, if I don't need anything on page 2 that has to do with that box, I'll get rid of it. If I don't need anything to do with an image on page 2, I'll get rid of it. And if I really think my page 2 should look like this, I would start laying it out as I want it to be. But all my sections to do with the page layout are almost standard. So I come to page 3 and I think page 3 doesn't need anything to do with an image to be on this section. I'll get rid of it. I'll get rid of that. So it really is up to you how you want to now lay out these pages, but at least the style of the template is almost as similar as it could be. So now we want to test our hyperlink. So I will say File, Save All. Now I'll try again to preview this in Explorer and see what's happening. So now, because my computer is slightly slow, you are now going to see what's happening. Give it a few minutes. Now I'm now going to test my hyperlinks. So I'll click on page 1. Now I'll click on page 2, click on page 3, I'll click on page 4. Have a look. I'll go back to my home page. So this is how easy it is to create a hyperlink. So what we've just done here, just to recap, we managed to get our home page. The home page had blank buttons that didn't have any link. So we then went to the linking section. We linked them up to blank pages, then the blank pages has too much work to do. So what we thought, let us use the home page structure that has got all the hyperlinks, and we override the blank pages. So please, I want you to do this. I want you to go and create hyperlinks for your website. If you are not sure, can you pause this tutorial, then go over the previous points. So good luck, and I hope to see very good hyperlinks.